Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Quick Draw, spitters aren't quitters, at least when it comes to the Tysis. So once they introduced the status proc, I knew that this weapon was definitely in the works. The Tysis is an infested themed sidearm that sports innate corrosive damage and spits out darts that can slam enemy units into their allies. On top of that, it sports a base 50% chance to proc statuses, which can be used to cause all sorts of pandemonium on the battlefield. You can pick up its blueprints in the market for 30,000 credits, just be aware that it does require Mastery Rank 4 in order to equip. But if you can't wait that long, you can always buy it pre-built along with all the trimmings for 120 plat. Now I always talk about how I'm into weapons that have something interesting about them, but are still effective. That is definitely the case when it comes to the Tysis. Now, if we compare its base damage and fire rate with other sidearms, we can clearly see that it just doesn't match up. To put it in perspective, the Magnus, which I regard to be on the lower end of the sidearm spectrum, deals a base 44 damage and has a faster fire rate as compared to the Tysis' 35 point base. But where the Tysis really shines is in its unique mechanics. While its base damage is low, its damage type is corrosive, which deals considerable bonus damage to ferrite armored Grineer units and fossilized infested ancients. It also has an innate 50% chance to proc corrosive status, which lowers an enemy unit's armor, allowing this weapon to deal more damage on successive shots. On top of that, every other element can also take advantage of its high proc chance, so you can consistently utilize Blast's AoE knockdown, Gas's AoE poison cloud, or even Viral's HP reduction. Solely adding a maxed pistol pestilence mod will bring the status chance all the way up to a whopping 80%. And it doesn't even end there. The Tysis also has innate physics impact on each dart. Now, don't confuse this with punch through. If you manage to kill your initial target, physics impact will launch the deceased unit backwards, dealing damage and usually killing any enemies that they smash into. However, it will not punch through shields or terrain. Now, speaking of a smashing good time, let's get to the gay factor. So, due to the fact that this weapon's innately good at taking down Grineer, I decided to run some survivals to get this leveled. And as always, I wanted to experiment with the effects of different elemental combos, and let me tell you, the funnest time I had with this thing was using it with Radiation's confusion mechanic. Once you get into higher levels and can no longer single shot most enemies, Radiation literally turns a tile set into a huge brawl. I swear, if it were this easy to get guys to switch over to my team, you damn well know I'd be running around with a microwave pointing it at every hot guy I see. Hey handsome, why don't you stand right here while I microwave us up some popcorn? Just 2 minutes tops. Just stand real close. Actually, just get next to the thing. Just get right next to it. No, this isn't anything weird. Just trust me. Are you gay yet? Yes? Yes? No? Okay, fine. Let's just get back to the quick draw. So one thing I will admit is, once you get into level 35 plus missions, the damage on this thing does seem to fall off quite a bit, meaning that aiming for weak spots is going to be increasingly important. But as your one-hit kills begin to fade away, you'll really start seeing where the elemental procs come into play. And this is one of those times where I may actually choose Viral over Radiation in the endgame, mainly because the proc chance on this is so reliable that it may end up being more effective. But in theory crafting, there may be even better utility combos out there. I mean, just think of chain knockdowns with Blast. That would be hilarious, and it could totally end up being a thing. All in all, if you can look past its lack of raw power and its projectile flight speed, the Tysis is definitely a weapon worth keeping an eye out for. Thank you for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. Let me know if you get to try out any weird and wacky builds for the Tysis in the comments below. Then, don't forget to do the thing that I asked you to do at the end of every one of these, and be sure to stay tuned for more bodily fluid themed content here at A Gay Guy Plays. Excuse me, sir, I can see you over there. See, and that is what happens when you try to pop a squat in one of my videos.